at midcourt. Deshaun Pierre, Hassan Martin to jump center, and Dayton will control the tip. I would assume, boys, that we will expect a little man-to-man defense today. That's exactly what Rhode Island comes out in.
Unbelievable similarities in the two coaches, right? Dads are coaches. Brothers are coaches. Brothers were, frankly, great players, a little bit better players in college. Both are outstanding players and so competitive in how they coach their team's feet off them.
Terrell with the steal. He gets it back, but his shot is blocked. Here comes Smith into the open floor. Off the glass, it's good. Scoochie Smith with the first bucket of the day.
Can't be a New York City point guard not finishing transition, right? Got to use the window, too.
The jumper is still something that's a work in progress, but you've got to be able to finish it around the rim.
Averaging 8.5 points per game. Baruda up top. He's had a solid couple of days.
Baruda, the transfer from Rutgers, came over a couple of years back, added some inside presence to this Rams team.
Certainly knows the style of Daddy Hurley. He played for him in high school. E.C. Matthews, entry pass down low to Hassan Martin. Double teamed immediately. Here's the freshman Terrell for three. No good. And whistles
3-2-20. Tom averaging 9.5 points a game, Doug, but he also gives you 2.4 rebounds as well. Not bad numbers for a guy going through this for the first time.
Well, you mentioned the foul issues. You know, one great rule of thumb is don't get the first foul. You don't have to worry about foul trouble if you don't get the first foul, especially going into halftime.
Martin with the handoff to Garrett. Now Matthews. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Dayton with the first bucket of the day. Rhode Island with his second possession. And Baruda's called for
him in the low post.
Kendall Pollard may only be 6'6", but he's as wide as he is.
He's a big kid.
Tall.
He is a big kid.
And he gets rooted in. And as a big guy who stands 6'10", it was always tough to play against those 6'8", 6'7" guys because they can get lower than you and a stronger base. They can move the taller guys around.
Yes. Hassan Martin with a rebound for Rhode Island.
Well, this is a game that got out of hand on senior day at UD Arena. 18-8 run to end the first half. Jordan Seibert was fantastic. Game was a 19-point game late in the second half.
Foul on the scene. You think about the fact that they only play 6 or 7 guys.
And how much of an impact is that?
I don't think second day it's as big. I think the third day it'll get you. And you got to play VCU if you win.
And more emotional, I think, than physical. I mean, you're used to going hard every day. I think the fact that you've got to get up every game, every day, I think can be taxing at times on one's emotions.
There's Seibert. He finds Pollard toward the baseline. He'll pull it back out. Don't forget, Pollard wasn't starting when the other two players, before they were dismissed, were still on the roster. His evolution has been fantastic for the Flyers. Pierre into the paint against Baruda. Down to the baseline from Pollard. Off the glass strong. It's 4-0 Dayton on top.
And that's where he uses his dexterity as well as his strength and width. Sawed-off big guys are hard to go against, man. When they're 6'5", especially guys that have really good hands, they make better catches, they make good targets, and use that leverage.
Here's Baruda. He got Pierre off his feet. Very good jump stop. Pretty basic basketball right there.
Good job by Deshaun Pierre of not fouling because, again, we realize they don't have a lot of guys. Subtle, but it was a foul.
Yeah.
So 3 team fouls already for the Flyers.
Jarvis Garrett talking a little bit to him.
You see Matthews, he picked up a technical in last night's ball game. Ball was nearly stripped. He'll get it back.
And he's come a long way with his shot selection. I thought last year as a freshman his numbers weren't as great because...
Good call. Good call.
Yeah, good.
Less than ideal.
Less than ideal. 4-2, Dayton on top. Scoochie Smith running the point. He's the sophomore out of the Bronx in Putnam Science. Pierre down low, covered by Martin. Skip pass. And back to Pierre, baseline, no good. And Baruda, he's fortunate he was able to get that rebound. The ball was kind of just floating out there. Got another turnover.
Pass, yeah, telegraph that pass into outstretched arms.
Well, it's 6-2 now. Dayton's on top. 4 turnovers for the Rams. .40 to play here in the first half.
We've never seen Rhode Island play before. This is not a highly skilled basketball team. However,
with their fifth turnover in 6 possessions, you don't say.
Yeah.
Here's Pierre along the baseline. Rhode Island's going to substitute. TJ Buchanan is about to check in for the first time. Scoochie Smith into the paint, got some separation. Can't get the shot to go, but got his own rebound. But then what they need to do, it's the team concept, the true team concept. When he's been asked about that depth and making sure his team doesn't get into foul trouble. Mentioned Buchanan was checking in for Rhode Island. He's on the floor. A strong drive.
I like the $1 million move. That was the Alexei Shved. You see when Shved shot the floater that still hasn't landed yet? That thing went over the backboard?
If it had come down
that is a floater.
into the cylinder,
yeah,
it would have been a good game for Horse.
Oh, man.
Bobby Worley's in the ball game for the first time.
Let's call that one a turnover. Is that essentially 6
I would think that's 6, yeah.
Same effect.
Pollard traveling.
January 14th with the departure of some of the other players that we mentioned earlier on in the season. He was rewarded with a scholarship, and his teammates ecstatic about the news.
Well, this is the game trend so far. 4 made field goals, 10 turnovers combined between these two teams. I don't know if it's really about the defense either. There's another one.
14 turnovers on the season, so those are not good, encouraging numbers as you enter the ball game. In particular, a ball game here in the tournament, you have to win.
Rhode Island with the ball. Terrell, the freshman, jumper from the baseline, no good. Kyle Davis now in transition. Tell you what, Terrell has got a great body for a freshman. Consider how he's going to be as he continues to develop his skills as a basketball player. Here's Pollard, turnaround jumper, no good. Now Terrell leading the break.
Tom, are you saying that you didn't look like that as a freshman?
I did not look like a freshman, a sophomore, or even anywhere close to that as a senior. You see Matthews double teamed up top.
The advantage is there when you've got a double team so far away from the basket.
Well, Minnis did a nice job. He faked the pass and then was able to dive in toward the basket.
Well, they're doubling every ball screen, and you got to attack on the weak side. Minnis understood he's not a shooter in that position. Take it to the basket, make the defender make a decision.
You have 2 Davises on the floor, Kyle Davis and Darrell Davis for Dayton. There's Worley. Under 13 to play here in the first half. Shot clock under 10. Seibert up top. He'll stop and launch. No good off the front of the rim. Oh, I mentioned during the open that we wouldn't see the same offensive day in this second game. And
got to make that pass.
Yeah, we may be right. There's a double dribble called.
There was nobody behind him anyway, so it wasn't like it was a free safety waiting for that lazy pass and an interception. Got to make that pass and convert those easy ones when you get a chance.
Darrell Davis to the corner. Scoochie Smith entry pass to Pierre. Pierre making his 100th start of his career. Along the baseline, chucks it up, doesn't get the roll, but he gets his own rebounds.
And that was a prototypical Dayton possession in that they had 7 passes. They shot it with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. And the
12:01 to play here in the first half. Along with Doug Gottlieb, Al Abdelabi, and Ali LaForce. I'm Tom McCarthy. Game 2 of our semifinal of the Atlantic 10 tournament. ECU commanding victory in Game 1 will go to the championship for the 3rd straight year. Who will they meet? We'll see. Here's Worley for 3. Banks it home. Yes, it is open.
Why use the A10? Bank's still open, right, Doug?
Hey, you know what? When you're a walk-on, you got a scholarship. You hit a 3 in the A10. You just trot your way back.
It's all gravy.
9-4. Dayton's on top. Worley, who played high school basketball with Frank Kaminsky of Bobby.
With Bobby, and Danny was the guy because he was so young, would come out in between timeouts and shoot, and we would scooch him off the floor. Get out of here, little kid. We got big boys that are trying to play.
Sandy Pioneer.
Sandy Pioneer, exactly.
I played a tournament with Sandy Pioneer.
There's Pollard. Shot
unique man.
Man. Good energy.
Yes.
Good energy.
Biggie Minnis up the floor. Shot no good. And Baruta with his putback after a missed shot. So a 3-point ball game.
I played against Danny when he was at Seton Hall, man, and you talk about toughness, considering the legend that his brother was, plus when you guys were at Duke, you were so good. He's the all-time assist king in college basketball. To dribble up the floor in every arena in the country and hear, Bobby's better.
Right.
You got to be tougher than a $2 steak.
No question about it.
Well, there's Pollard showing his strength on that turnaround jumper on the baseline. 10:35 to play. Earl Watson in for the first time. He's number 33, the wide body up top. Buchanan off the screen from Watson. Steps through, stripped away. Loose ball, picked up by Dayton. 9 turnovers for the Rams in this first half.
Well, in 16 possessions, Tom, 9 turnovers in those 16 possessions. Really, really struggling right now to find a rhythm on the offensive end are the Rams.
I can't imagine Ken Palm's rating for what Rhode Island's done so far.
Halfway through the first half. 17 total points. Pierre backs his way in against Baruta. Doesn't get the friendly roll off the rim.
You know what Baruta did a great job of is defending before the catch. You know, Pierre catches it down low. He's a very skilled scorer.
Pushed him a step or two off, and that threw him out of rhythm. It's all he needed to do.
Watson using his girth. Nothing there. Pierre with the rebound.
Pollard similarly using his belly.
Oh, Pierre. How did he get control of that? That was a pretty high dribble.
Referees could have called a multitude of things on that last
I'm not sure he did have control of that, Tom.
Well,
but you know what? When you lay it in, you just, again, same thing. You just run back up the court like you meant to do it.
Exactly.
13-6, a 7-point lead for the Flyers. Garrett up top for 3. Good.
And I think despite him making that shot, Dayton will be content to let Rhode Island shoot perimeter jump shots, in particular from long range. You can see how they're packing it in right now, almost daring Rhode Island to shoot it. Let's see whether or not Rhode Island, when given the opportunities, can convert those long range days.
Yeah, Garrett only a 25% three-point shooter. Obviously not the best thing in his game.
Pierre will try to answer, no good. Gets his own rebound. Second time he's done that.
Baruta is leaking out.
Got to block out from the corner. It's either going to go back to the shooter or go long to the opposite corner. Either way, Baruta snoozing a little bit on that rebounding assignment.
He's tired.
3 substitutions coming for Rhode Island at the next stoppage. Scoochie Smith. Shot clock winding down. Pierre has Pollard down low. Stripped from behind. Great read by Biggie Minnis. And he's going to go right to the rack, knocked away by Scoochie. But their pace offensively right now is going to rock the college basketball world that's already talking about offense being down this year. Here's Terrell on the baseline. The bounce pass, no good. And the rebound for Dayton.
Yeah, Hassan Martin missed a bunny.
He did.
Take your time and dunk that one, big fella. This isn't a pace of play problem. There's just been too many turnovers and missed shots.
On against Davidson.
He looks relieved, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's in the tournament. His team played really well. They bounced back from being down 12 to win by the final score 17.
Yep.
7.5 to play. Jumper by E.C. Matthews is good.
And lefties. What is it about lefties with a pure stroke?
And a nice little step back as well. I mean, Davis was draped all over him, but he was able to create just enough room to get that shot off.
13-11, Dayton on top. Worley jumper for the baseline is good for 3. He's got 2. That one, he did not need the bank.
I need with some confidence. I told you guys, confidence is the greatest performance enhancer.
Mentioned such a great story. You see Matthews up top, off the screen.
Rhode Island looking to get the ball in his hands, hoping good things happen.
He and Hassan Martin. Martin goes up, and his shot is, I guess, misdirected. And here come the Flyers. 6:40 to play.
Watching Hassan Martin, you can agree or disagree with me, partner. Reminds me a lot of discouraged. All of a sudden, what's the next thing to suffer? It's the other end of the floor. Takes a mature player to play through some of the lulls that you might have in a ball game.
This coming from a mature player.
Wait, never accused of a lot of things, not that.
E.C. Matthews for 3, it's good. He has 2 3-pointers so far in this half. It's a 2-point game.
And his progression from year to year has been remarkable. Last year, I felt he didn't meet a shot he didn't like, Tom. This year, being a little bit more selective.
And Seibert's able to keep body control to lay that one in. His first bucket of the day. Under 6 minutes to play. Here's Martin off the glass. Misses again. Worley with the rebound. All right, so he's missed 3 right around the rim.
You got to dunk the next one. Get him a dunk.
Traveling violation.
The step back. Now he hits a 3. You want to feed him till he bursts.
Would you chase him on those screens, or would you, like they did right there, go underneath?
He's not a great shooter, so you can cut some of those screens. But I would definitely have my big guy show a longer arm.
Garrett for 3. So now Rhode Island is starting to feel it from beyond the arc. It's a 1-point game.
And you mentioned, Ala, you've seen Rhode more in person than I have. Garrett, not a great shooter, but he hit his first one. Now he's feeling a little bit.
Yep. Davis steps in front of the arc, no good. Pierre with the offensive board, then lost it. Here comes Buchanan up the floor, 4 on 3.
Nice.
Oh, here we go. Terrell lays it in.
And it was that time where Daryl Davis, the lone defender on the right wing, had to choose who to pick because there were 2 Rhode Island players running down that side of the wing. He picked the wrong player. Rhode Island goes with the...
Too easy. You had 3 guys back defensively, and you give up a layup. And Archie Miller's not going to be happy about that the next time out.
No, Davis should not have let the trail guy go behind him. He should have covered the layup and given up that 3-pointer.
And then you had Kyle Davis, who wasn't guarding anybody.
1918, Smith's jumper, no good. So Rhode Island.
Dayton right now settling for jump shots that kind of failed on the penetration game plan where they were getting to the bucket, in particular getting some easy layups. Now, last couple of trips, strictly jump shots.
You know, something Archie Miller believes and a lot of coaches do as well. In the second half, you can call him right in front of your own bench. So in the second half, you'll see him with all kinds of motions, and they'll run quick hitting set plays. The first half, just let guys play and let them run motion, even let them take a bad shot now and again.
Here's Matthews again, same spot where he made the last 3, no good. Might have forced that one. Pierre up the floor, hovering. Scoochie Smith working with Davis. Kyle Davis also on the floor.
Nice pump fake.
Smith for 3, no good. And you see Matthews pulls down the rebound. Well, he quickly gets into transition. A little off balance, though, at the end. He wanted a foul. Well, Dayton has numbers. Davis going to discount it. Worley underneath with the offensive board. Whistle blows and a foul.
Do one of the things that Sean does best, which is practice. They only go about 45 minutes. They spend an hour in the training room. Some preventative, a lot of it preventative care.
Sure.
Jordan Seibert doesn't even practice because he's got a bad wrist. So he'll walk through things, but they'll never throw the ball to him because they don't want to make that wrist flare up. It's a shooting wrist. It's a problem.
Pollard dropped that one.
And, of course, Danny and Bobby much the same. Coaches' sons who have been coached their entire lives.
Pollard is... This will give us a great look.
Bill Cartwright? Bill Cartwright. I was thinking that.
Wow, your channel great.
But now Bill Cartwright, he kind of brought it around.
Progressive and sort of like Jamal Wilkes too. Jamal Wilkes.
But Jamal Wilkes, you know, he used to.
The release was perfect.
The release was perfect.
Right.
It just took a while to get there.
the
I like
setup
that you go
was
Jamal,
funky.
not Keith. That's good.
Kids out there will be Googling Jamal Wilkes and Bill Cartwright.
Dig deep, kid.
Seibert, beautiful pass.
The only senior on the team with the court vision. The great look to his teammate out and running right now. Finds Kyle Davis.
2:25 and counting to play. Dayton's forced a lot of turnovers. They've gotten some steals. In fact, both teams have turned the ball over in this first half. C.C. Matthews thought about the 3. Now we'll take a 17-footer. Doesn't get the roll. And Martin with the save. EC again for 3. This time, they didn't get the roll off the back of the iron.
Oh, there's a lot of movement on his moves and jump shots. I would wonder if he'd be a better shooter if he was a little bit more compact and free of some of that extra movement, because I think it throws him off.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow him to go straight up and down on his J.
Could not agree with you more. You know, Devin Booker is a guy who I think plays a lot like Klay Thompson. The similarities are in the lack of movement, helps in how refined his jump shot actually is.
No wasted movement whatsoever. Straight up and down.
Pierre down low against Martin. No good, and the rebound by Watson. 1:25 to play here in the first half. E.C. Matthews, they're trying to get Martin onto the right step, and there you go.
And again, nice simple move, had plenty of room to operate, and I like the fact that he went over his right shoulder into the heart of the defense, saw no help coming, kept on with the move and able to finish.
I'll bet he'll start playing better defense. Let's keep an eye on him defensively. You make a shot, you start feeling better about yourself.
It's amazing, right, how the confidence grows. Now you become fully engaged.
Under a minute to play here in the first half. Dayton with a 1-point lead. We mentioned it was going to be a much different game offensively than our first game today, and it certainly has been that, at least in this first half. Shot clock is at 6. Smith, jumper no good. Watson with his second board.
Wow, no Dayton players in the lane for that rebound. Everyone in white was out on the perimeter watching that jump shot.
Daddy, when it comes to basketball.
But, you know, he's invested in these players as people.
Correct.
You talk to these kids about Danny. Yeah, he gets onto us, but because he's invested in us as people, we're gonna fight for him.
Well, they know that he cares about them, and I think that's what kids want. If you can be hard on me, you can be critical, but as long as I know you have my best interest in mind, kids will put up with a lot.
Shot clock down to 7. Game clock is at 16. Now it rolls more.
Nice play.
You see Matthews open for 3. Good.
You have to win the tournament.
They'll at least be in the discussion if they win tonight.
Absolutely.
Dayton with the ball. They still have time. Game clock at 3. Scoochie Smith in the paint off the glass. Good. Well, that was basketball. 24 all for the right to move on to take on VCU. Bracket week is sponsored by Kubota. Dayton the higher seed in white, Rhode Island. With the road blue, you see Matthews dribble just one time. Here's Baruta working against Pierre.
He didn't walk on that last little shimmy.
Shot clock down to 10. Corner jumper is no good. But Monk with the rebound. Well, I guess that's a good way to engage him.
Well, I always tell you, Biggs, if you don't get your number called via the play, best way to get yourself involved in a ball game is to get to the offensive boards. Good things usually happen that time. Hassan with the
he ends up becoming the beneficiary of Baruta's work in the low post.
Here's Pollard. Well, you talk about Martin being engaged. I would think Pollard getting engaged also on the interior is a big deal.
Well, when you talk to anybody in the Flyer program, they tell you that their game has taken to another level with the way Kendall Pollard has played here in the last month or so of this season. Really giving them an inside presence coupled with the perimeter props.
Voted the league's most improved player. Martin with the miss. And the rebound for Dayton. Here's Seibert. Tough bounce pass toward the corner.
Really smart defense to not foul.
Scoochie Smith off the high screen. Seibert right down the middle of the lane. Can't get the shot to finish. And E.C. Matthews.
Hand on it, but he was stifled as he was trying to get it up to the rim.
And on the previous drive, he drove in there, didn't have it. Working his floater game.
Garrett off the screen. Leaves it down low. Martin tried to slam. It was no good. And the steal by E.C. Matthews, but he's out of bounds.
Man, well, son, Martin, I would always go two hands and smack the backboard. You know?
I want to hear about your post game. Tell me about your post game.
You know every point guard can post up. Coaches never runs anything for us. Every big guy can shoot.
Air ball. Allie, what do you?
I was sitting in traffic and I actually liked it because there was so many people around and I'm not used to that anymore. He also said it's great because all 5 of his little brothers were able to come yesterday and today. And I said, are you their hero? And he says, yeah, they look up to me and they like coming to the game, but, you know, they really, really like E.C. Matthews. So I think they were more excited to see him.
Baruta with the miss
coming out of that particular high school.
Hey, you know, if he likes traffic, we can switch lives.
I was thinking the same thing. 28-26, Rhode Island on top by 2. VCU advanced to tomorrow's championship with a 93-73 victory. Here's Seibert off the screen. Pollard right down the lane. Tough shot. He saves the ball. Oh. Again, the shot clock did not reset. Pierre with the shot clock at 10, and Martin called. And he missed both.
I didn't think he got fouled, so that's a ball don't lie anyway.
Is that a karma thing? 28-26, Rhode Island up by 2. 16:45 to play here in the second half. Garrett.
Rhode Island really spreading the floor. A lot of space between Dayton defenders.
Boy, that was a money shot by Terrell, the freshman. Largest lead. It's only a 5-point lead, but it's the largest lead of the game for Rhode Island.
And he's been quiet thus far. The freshman has come in and had really a heck of a imagine that they're going to be in the best state of mind, both physically and mentally, as they prepare for tomorrow.
I will tell you, it's going to be really hard. You play a championship game on a Sunday if you get a Thursday draw. I've done that before.
Yeah.
You're playing 4 and 4
and games. Even earlier.
Yeah.
By the way, that foul was on Buchanan. That's his 3rd personal foul for Rhode Island. I thought it was against Baruta, but they called on Buchanan. So Dayton has missed 10 of its last 13 field goal attempts, but down by just 3.
Speaking of traveling early to Dayton, you and I will be at the first 4.
Here's Pollard inside. Can't get the 2 shots to go. Baruta with the rebound.
When I say you and I mean Doug and I.
Yeah,
You're more than welcome to come.
He'll be down in spring. He'll be down with pitchers and catchers.
He's got baseball in 80-degree weather. Yeah. He's not going to be thinking of us.
He won't be in the Pine Room, though, having a good steak.
15.5 to play. You see Matthews for 3. Good! What a weapon.
And he's got 11 points. What I like about him, Tom and Doug, it's as if whatever happened in the past matters very little. He's still confident when he pulls up for his J.
Seibert with a pretty move. He couldn't get the shot to go, but he had some help on the cleanup. Worley's, well, he's made some buckets here today.
Beautiful move, though, by Seibert. Worley, he has really helped him.
34-30. Under 15 to play here in the second half. Baruta trying to post up against Worley. You see Matthews left side of the lane and doesn't get the roll. Worley gets the rebounds.
Good lockout by Worley that time. There was a lot of space for guys to find avenues to the basket. Worley did his job early, went and found the body and blocked out early.
Seibert got a step to the basket, draws the foul, and
this ball game, 8 turnovers in the last 17 minutes of this ball game. Only 3, doing a much better job as of late, holding on to the basketball. Subsequently, they've got themselves a 2-point lead.
Yeah, we saw that split of turnovers between first half and second half. 34-32. Seibert makes both free throws.
Look at the spacing from Rhode Island. They want to make Dayton come all the way out and guard them on these ball screens.
You look for back doors and operate in that space since they have stretched the floor out so much.
Terrell's 3 no good, and the rebound.
3. They know that Dayton wants to double team or blast all of these ball screens. They just want to spread Dayton out.
Looking for Pierre inside.
Little high-low. He had an advantage size-wise against Garrett, but it got all discombobulated. Here comes Matthews. Gucci Smith had to pull back, and Matthews lays it in. He has 13.
That was a bad pass from Worley. He had Dyshawn Pierre in the low post with his man sealed. You have to deliver the basketball, so all he has to do is turn up and lay it in. He gives him a bad pass. Dayton ends up with a turnover and giving up 2 at the other end.
Now Rhode Island with a 4-point lead. Smith off the screen.
Again, looking for Pierre inside. He's got a little one on him.
This is what I'm talking about, guys.
Well, Worley will take a seat. He has 8 points. Also taking a seat is Jarvis Garrett. Dayton with the ball, fresh 35 off the foul. Pierre faces up. He and Hassan Martin battling inside, and it's a traveling.
On his feet, stood up, held his ground.
And that time Pierre would have been just better served to shoot that little 3-4 foot a lot easier from where we're sitting. He should have did this, and you and I are critiquing him.
No, but I mean, still, you have to know who's guarding you. Take a look. You see a big guy face up. You see a little guy. You got a mouse in the house. Big boy, and get down low.
And we don't have one complete player out there, so everybody's still looking to improve.
10 on the shot clock for Rhode Island. Matthews up top, working against Seibert. 5 on the shot clock. Matthews wants this shot. He'll take it, and it's no good. Whistle blows.
Lithuania, we mentioned earlier, played for Mike Rice at Rutgers before transferring over to the Rams.
He left Rutgers, and I believe they just took a second off the shot clock, off that inbounds. The inbounds comes to Biggie Minnis. Baruta was open for a moment, but then he started to go to the basket.
You got to spin it to him.
Improve the angle. Plus, what was going to happen if he caught that ball, Tom, it was taking him away from his good shot anyway. So even if he were to have caught it, wasn't going to be in a position to do anything with it.
See the difference in field goal percentage for the Flyers today compared to their season. Seibert down to Pollard. Pollard strong to the basket, no good. Gets his own rebound. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it will be Dayton. All right, so now a warning to the Dayton bench. We've had a warning to the Rhode Island bench, now a warning to the Dayton bench.
Guys are just out of control, even if they're not in the ball game.
Rhode Island with a 4-point lead. Seibert backing his way in. Turnaround hook shot. Good.
That's a big man move.
It's all about elevation there.
He took the young fella in the post.
Put him in the spin cycle that time. No answer for the senior.
6 points for Seibert. Matthews nearly turned it over, and he did turn it over.
The culture's already there. The fact that they're earners, they're not takers. They don't ask for no quarter. They don't give any quarter. However, I said this a little earlier when we were off the air. When he combines recruits with the way they play, the hard-nosed style, he gets some talent in there. Watch out for the rest of the A10.
Pierre gets it outside to Davis for 3. No good. Rebound by E.C. Matthews.
36-34. Terrell was a big-time recruit. He actually signed with Oklahoma State. And was a top 50 kid. Wanted to stay close to home. E.C. Matthews is a bucket getter. You got 2 wings. They're not far away.
Here's Baruta. He kept his pivot foot. He's in a little bit of trouble now. He's going to shoot it off the side of the rim. Loose ball picked up by Pollard, and he goes to the floor. This is going to wind up being a jump.
And positive energy in the huddle.
Just so you're aware, Allie played ball at Ohio U. She has beat me in one-on-one and horse, so I can attest to her basketball skill as well as acumen.
Listen, next time Allie plays you, I would advise Allie to tell you to bring your wallet. Time is money, right?
Time is money. No, but
here's Pierre for 3, no good. Baruta with the rebound.
I think it'll be interesting to see if they do pick and roll short.
Yep.
Meaning, when you pick and you roll, don't go all the way to the basket because there's help just sitting in the lane.
That's a tough shot.
That's a bad shot.
Baruta, though, gets the offensive rebound and draws the foul, so he'll get a...
Lithuania. What's it like to play in America? He played for Danny Hurley and Mike Rice. It's crazy. Coaches, they're crazy.
38-34. If you want to find out more about Baruta, he has a weekly blog that he does. Gives his thoughts on a number of different things.
Baruta just did a great job snuffing out one of Dayton's go-to plays. They want to get Kendall Pollard in the low post.
And he beat him to the spot and actually fronted him that time. That's the play you diagrammed up a little earlier.
Whistle blows and a foul underneath. It's going to go against Rhode Island, and Jarvis.
Instead of giving up 2 free points.
I give his teammates credit for recognizing the mismatch as well.
First 35 for the Flyers. Davis down low to Pollard against Baruta. Tough shot. Loose ball picked up by Rhode Island.
Nice play. What a play.
Boy, Garrett had nowhere to go but just to toss it up to his teammate. Good recognition. His fans certainly appreciated that.
Again, an indication of exactly how hard Rhode Island plays, and if whoever the opponent is, you have to match that for 40 minutes.
Davis with the steal. Awkward pass to Pierre. High step into the basket. What a shot.
And he had his teammate Seibert open, elected not to give it to him. And how about the little funky left hand in midair?
I thought he was going to give the pass off.
It would have been a sound play, but he was able to convert.
just talking about the big man tricks. You know, Scoochie Smith has twice gone behind Jarvis Garrett. Going behind means when you spin dribble, if you don't pull it around with the hand you're spinning with, you can go and back tap from behind and run and get a steal. He's gotten twice. Look for that coming down the stretch.
Berruda goes up and he's fouled by. Little different style than Gibbs of Davidson for Berruda, but he makes 4 in a row. Watson checks in, Berruda checks out. It's a 4-point lead. See the free throws, none in the first half for Rhode Island, 6 of 6 in the second half.
This game is a war.
Yeah, we're not going to see 93 points in this ball game.
No. Translate as well, I think, to television. Obviously, you're sitting at home going, oh, come on, just give me the 60. But in person, a very physical game, even if it's not at a high skill level.
I think it was a lot like the games yesterday in a lot of ways. Seibert, a 3. Tough shot.
I thought the Dayton game was played at a very high level. They kind of stole one from St. Bonaventure. I thought that was a very high level game. The scoring didn't look like.
7:55 to play. See Seibert's season average and what he's done today. Here comes Scoochie Smith. Garrett's chasing. He'll let him go or lay it in.
That's kind of an unforced turnover right there, to use a tennis term. Really no pressure applied by Dayton. Just careless with the basketball was Rhode Island. Leads to an easy 2 when Dayton was having a hard time scoring in the half-court set.
Watson covered by Worley up top. Terrell by Seibert. Down low to Hassan Martin. Dribble one time against Pierre.
That's a bad place to pick up your dribble. It leaves you with very little options.
4 on the shot clock. Garrett off balance shot and the rebound by the Flyers.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
You're a point guard.
Yeah. Is
it me or almost everybody picks up their dribble way too early and in bad points in that game against the Blue Devils?
A very gifted player.
It all comes back around to Duke for you? It's all these bad memories?
No, it was the Lehigh thing. But
okay.
yeah, I did have a twitch whenever Duke loses, in particular
nice
early.
inbounds.
Off the inbounds, Pierre lays it in. First time all game, Dayton has made consecutive field goals, and they've tied it up at 40. .640 to play here in the second half. Berruda again fouled, going up
in an angle in which you cannot see the basket.
Got to protect the basket at all costs.
Berruda is now 8 for 8 for the free throw line. Rhode Island is 8 for 8 for the free throw line. Scoochie Smith.
You know, there's been lots of discussion about AAU basketball, and while I don't think all AAU basketball is bad, there are little things like underneath out of bounds, the defense of it, that is missing for guys coming to college.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they play a lot of zone as well in the AAU level, and they're not used to covering people man-to-man, or they're used to reacting quickly to quick hitters.
You like
basketball
ball?
fan.
You like ball?
It's the best time of year.
6:12 to play here in the second half, tied at 42. Championship game tomorrow on CBS. VCU is already there. Who will they face? E.C. Matthews never got through this.
It seemed like he was still struggling to fight through to get himself open.
I thought Jared Terrell just assumed he was there.
Yep.
Didn't look.
That's 16 turnovers now for Rhode Island.
But Coach, you said this is what we're running. We are running it, but if he's not open, you don't throw it.
Yeah, and it's almost better at times to be late in the offense than early because you can react.
Boy, Pierre's really putting on a display. And he's
down. Yep.
This is the first lead for the Flyers since it was 22 to 21. 44-42 with 5.5 to play here in the second half.
Ooh, almost got his pocket picked.
Buchanan able to get himself to the basket. Pierre with the block. The putback by Berruda is good.
That's pretty good defense by 2 separate Dayton Flyers, but Berruda not giving up on the play, hitting the boards. Dayton unable to finish that defensive exchange.
Seibert for 3, no good. Follow your shot. And he'll get his own rebound off the tip by Worley.
Berruda is too big and too strong for Worley on the boards. Worley's doing a good job as a screener. Has to be more physical on the defensive boards.
Pierre again posting up down low against Martin. Faces up. Shot fake into the paint. Spin move. Went to his other hand and just didn't have the angle.
And Martin not giving up a lot of room that time, forcing Pierre into a 10-footer as opposed to what he wanted, which is a 7-footer.
Seibert picks the pocket, spin move, and lays it in.
Thought he was going to travel on that play, but he pivoted in the right direction and went straight to the basket with the drop step.
46-44, Dayton on top, 4:23 left to play here in the second half. Dayton's last A10 title was back in 2003.
In Cincinnati.
The New Mexico one was a surprise, you know.
Because they were a 3-seed New Mexico at the time.
Yeah.
When Coach Alford was still there.
And he went small against Steve Alford. Played two bigs.
Laurent Rivard is the name
Rivard.
that comes to mind.
Yeah, Laurent Rivard.
4 on the shot clock for Rhode Island. Garrett with a crossover just launches it. That's going to be a violation. Archie Miller, the Naismith Coach of the Year semifinalist after what he did this year, after losing 2 players back in December. Pollard has 4 for Dayton. TJ Buchanan has 4 for Rhode Island.
And with just under 4 minutes left to go, URI's really got to change things around. The 5 turnovers for them in their last 11 trips down the floor. Good ball movement and spacing has allowed them to operate in the painted area.
Pollard makes the second one. 9 points off the last 5 Rhode Island turnovers for Dayton. Worley, boy, he's played a lot of minutes.
Well, Pollard's got 4 fouls.
That's true.
So now they're on D, so you can do an offense-to-defense sub.
And Worley is covering Hassan Martin. You see Matthews brings the ball up the floor. You see 5 turnovers, last 11 possessions for Rhode Island. And it's why Dayton has a 3-point lead. Part of the reason why Dayton has a 3-point lead. Terrell on the switch, covered by Pierre. Matthews for 3. Good!
Boy, he came off of that cocked, ready to shoot. His confidence was high, and what I liked most was he went straight up and down, no leaning, as the emphatic Coach Hurley over there imploring his team for a little defensive stance.
Coach Hurley is way out on the floor right now. Kyle Davis running the point. Here's Pierre. Off to Seibert, covered by Terrell. Baseline, sweeps through with the layup.
Sweet move and an even smarter finish to use the rim as a protector that time. URI guys were trying to get the steps down and time it and block it on one end. Scoops it out and lets it go around out under the other.
Under 3 minutes to play. 49-47. 7 ties, 4 lead changes.
Same play.
Largest lead to 7. You see Matthews again for 3. It looked like he was on the mark, but he was so off balance in the foul. Davis makes both free throws. It's a 4-point lead. 51-47. 2:23 to play for the right to move on to the Atlantic 10 Championship tomorrow afternoon. The VCU Rams are waiting for the winner of this ball game. Dayton last went to the championship in 2011. The last title was 2003. Rhode Island's last title was in 1999. Shot clock is down to 5. Garrett to Matthews. Shot clock at 2. Lets it fly off the side of the rim, and Pierre with another rebound.
Last 2 times, those were ill-advised shots by E.C. Matthews. Perhaps a little bit more on that last exchange. He had no options left, Doug, with the shot clock running down. But again, unmakeable shots in my opinion.
Well, this is a big possession defensively right now for Rhode Island. And Pierre's just holding it with the shot clock winding down. Spin move to the basket. Off the glass, no good.
That was a tough shot. Switching hands in midair. That's not even Pierre's game.
What a play from Scoochie Smith.
Wow, he just stripped TJ Buchanan. Davis, bounce pass to Seibert, sweeps it again.
And there was a foul at half court I thought they could have called, but they allowed the play to go on. Advantages in numbers for Dayton. That's also their ability to get the ball in the painted area, in particular here in the second half. I think that's been the slight difference between these 2 teams.
1 minute to play. Here's Garrett along the baseline to the corner for Matthews. He stepped out of bounds.
Make sure that you're watching your feet.
Man, nobody ever ran a flare screen for me with a minute.
Oh, I never got the ball out that far either. I'm just assuming.
I would like to think we would all know. We would.
Arm, the left hand.
No, it's just he's just going curveball. He's just that sucker.
It's just funky.
Yeah. I like his low post game though.
45 seconds to play. Rhode Island down by 2 possessions. Garrett goes right to the rim. Draws the...
Get 2 shots at the ball.
Yep.
I would just deny everybody else the basketball. Don't let Jordan Seibert get it. Get all the way in front. Make somebody else catch it. And, of course, they left Jordan Seibert.
They had him covered, and then they went to the corner thinking the pass was going there and left Seibert wide open.
They have to foul, don't they? Well, there's Terrell with a kick. Time now for our Reese's Perfect.
You know, that's the title sponsor of the Mountain West Tournament. Finals coming up tonight on CBS. The Reese's people take care of you.
Are you seeing any of the candy? That's what I want to know.
Last 2 years I did the tournament, so
it's good to be Doug.
25 seconds to play. Terrell for 3. Good. It's a 1-possession game with 22 seconds.
The screen. You stay with Seibert and don't leave him. Don't let him catch it.
Deny him the basketball at all costs.
Dayton does have timeouts. Rhode Island has none. They give it to Seibert. And he'll hand it off to Kyle Davis. 18 seconds to play. And
you go defend, lengthen the game.
There you go. It's now a 2-possession game.
And don't foul if you're Dayton, and don't send anybody over your head. Keep everybody in front of you.
A stumble out of bounds. Picked up by Pierre, who also slipped. Pick up by Dayton. And the loose ball. Smith has it. Looks for a timeout with 7 seconds.
Fouling. Dayton creates some space and have guys moving about so you can't get into double teams. There's a bad double team.
Scoochie Smith has it, throws it out to Pierre, and Pierre's just going to run across midcourt, and that's going to do it. The Dayton Flyers will move.